She's a certified yapper, but looks good doing it.
Gabby, I love you.
It must suck being that hot.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Gabby. Hi. Hey. If you're new here, hi. And if you're not new here and you're not yet subscribed, you subscribe right now because I don't know what you're doing on the road to 5K. Almost there. Okay, we're close. Thank you. I'm grateful for everyone. And if you're not following my socials, TikTok, Instagram, down below. Also, if you're not watching Interview with the Indies, where I interview indie wrestlers, you need to do that. This was a requested video. The WWE in 2003 was unhinged. I was only 1 year old in 2003. But I'm pretty sure we have seen some of these clips that he's going to put in here, you know, in passing on social media, you know. Yeah, it's crazy how things from back then they still be getting brought up. You know, you still come across them 20 years later. There is something in my eye. What is going on?
2003 is one of the most nostalgic years in my life, to be honest. From being a little kid and watching the first Spider-Man 100 times on DVD to X-Men 2 dropping, my boy Fifth blowing up, 2003 was an amazing time. And when it comes to wrestling, thinking of 2003, it almost makes me tear up. I love 2003 WWE. Maybe it's the thousands of hours I spent playing Here Comes the Pain growing up with my older cousins, a game that perfectly captures the entire year, or maybe it's because it's the first year as a kid I remember watching wrestling and seeing wrestling on TV. Whatever it is, 2003 will always have a special place in my heart. Thugonomics Cena, Angle and Lesnar dropping classic after classic, Hollywood Rock, Kane going demon mode, and so much more. But the truth is, this company was batshit insane in 2003. Everyone remembers 03 for the amazing highs, but 03 has some of the wildest, weirdest, just insane moments and storylines you can possibly imagine, and it popped off right as the year started. One of the major storylines on SmackDown going into 03 was Tori Wilson's father marrying Dawn Marie, and it went down on—
Speaking of Dawn Marie was that girl. Why does no one talk about her? I feel that she is on the lines of a Stacy Keibler or Tori Wilson, so why does no one talk about her? I don't know how the departure, her leaving WWE, how that went. I don't know if was it bad or something. No one mentions her name, and I don't know why, because she was bad. She was that girl. And I feel this storyline was pretty good. Well, from the clips I've seen.
On the very first episode of SmackDown of the year, and you're probably like, Pav, that's normal. We've had so many weddings in wrestling. It's tradition. They got married in their underwear. Is that normal too? And just when things couldn't get weirder, the next week we found out that the lovely just married couple didn't even last a week. Why? Why, you may ask? Did they get a divorce that fast? No. Apparently Dawn Marie made Al Wilson f her so much on their honeymoon that he died. Because that's normal, right? Yeah, Dawn Marie literally got a body to open up 03 SmackDown. SmackDown at this time was just hilarious. Everyone remembers Angle, Cena, Taker, Lesnar.
You know, bring back venue, backstage segments. Set a scene, please. Have the girly pops fight, hit each other upside the head with lamps. Bring that back. Bring that back, please. So one of them is getting their hair done, getting their makeup did, and the other one just pops them upside the head with a lip gloss or something, you know, throws a bag of makeup at it. Like,
they're doing their thing, but then it's like they had so many wrestlers on the roster where it's like, you are so lucky to be employed. Nathan Jones, Mark Jindrak, Johnny Stamboli. They had The Undertaker beefing the FBI. The full-blooded Italians. But meanwhile on Spike TV over on Monday Night Raw, we were getting this. I don't see a problem. The build for Triple H and Scott Steiner ends up being something straight out of Magic Mike, and they proceed to have an absolutely horrible match at the Rumble. Like, we are talking about the worst world title match in history level bad. On the way to WrestleMania, they had Triple H become racist for a month because that's storytelling, pal, and Triple H won at Mania. Cause America. But just to play both sides, we gotta give the company some credit. They did their best to hold it down for African Americans post the WrestleMania 19 debacle, cause this was also the year that they had Rodney Mack and Teddy Long hold the White Boy Challenge. Yeah, years before one-on-one with the Undertaker player, it was one-on-one with Rodney Mack, white boy. Rodney Mack and Teddy Long would come out every week and claim that there wasn't a white boy in the world, let alone the roster, that could challenge Mack. Every week, Mack would destroy a white boy. Chris Nowinski, no-name local jobber, Bubba Ray Dudley, no white boy was safe. Until Goldberg pulled up. Dog, Goldberg pulled up and speared this man during his own Is that not a health hazard? And Mac had to roll down the ramp like he was on fire. And after just 5 weeks, the White Boy Challenge was sadly over.
He climbs up on the second rope and he yells, "White boy!"
Speaking of white boys, remember how when the year started, Scott Steiner was challenging for the world title? Well, those days were over, thankfully, because he moved on to bigger and better things, such as beating up Test and taking his girl, and getting lap dances on the Raw stage. Honestly, that's a glow up to me. Bad Blood 03 was the first ever brand exclusive pay-per-view during the brand split era. It had a Hell in a Cell match as the main event, Goldberg was wrestling, Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair for the first time ever. They really wanted the first show to be a success so they could get tons of buys. Do you want to know what else they added on the show to try to get some buys? Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Eric Bischoff in the Redneck Triathlon. How do I even explain what a redneck triathlon is? 300,000 people bought Bad Blood and had to watch Eric Bischoff and Austin complete through a bunch of challenges. And since it's 03, they had the most brain rot challenges straight from Vince McMahon's mind you could possibly imagine. Challenge number 1, a burping contest. Challenge number 2, a pie. I don't even think I can show this. Just imagine Mae Young and Eric Bish. You know what? Don't imagine it. Challenge number 3, pig.
Now, I don't remember all of this. I don't remember seeing clips of any of this stuff. This is interesting.
And fun. Yo, those poor piggies, bro. Anyway, meanwhile on SmackDown, Vince and Hogan were tweaking. Is anyone surprised? Out here signing contracts in blood, Rowdy Piper pulled up to the WrestleMania match to interfere while he was 8 months pregnant. That was nice. And of course, after WrestleMania, we got Mr. America running wild. Yo, I wonder how Tori Wilson is doing after the death of her father. Oh.
That dress was so cute. Dawn Marie was a baddie. Oh my God. What they did? What happened? Why didn't they talk about her?
In 03, Raw was definitely a little more tame. It was hard to be too raunchy when Triple H without a beard looking absolutely disgusting was cutting his "I am the diamond of this industry" promos every week. Hard to be raunchy when he's too busy burying Goldberg, yada yada yada. But the MVP of Raw in 03, of course, was Kane. Kane took his mask off and became the second coming of the devil, tombstoning Linda, setting JR on fire, electrocuting Shane's testes, yes, you heard that right, surviving car crashes, surviving this. Kane was that guy. It's interesting because Linda getting tombstoned by Kane is what set Kane off. It's what gave him that legendary entrance. It's what made everyone think he was a D1 Savage. It really started his arc. The funny thing is, that's not even the worst thing to happen to Linda McMahon in 2003. After getting tombstoned by Kane, barely, Linda McMahon went home to recover in kayfabe, and everyone assumed that after getting tombstoned that thankfully we weren't going to see her on TV for a long time, because Linda McMahon is not a real person. I need you guys to know that. But Vince had other plans for his wife. They ran an angle before SummerSlam 03 where Linda was doing a live interview via satellite with JR and King on Monday Night Raw, where they were checking in on her. And during the interview, she got up and said, "Oh, JR, I'm sorry, but there's someone at the door." It ends up being Eric Bischoff, the general manager of Raw, who was supposed to take on her son Shane in a match at SummerSlam 03 just 6 days away. This man pulled up to Linda's house, starts cornering her. Meanwhile, the cameraman is just chilling, by the way. He does not care. And he says, I shit you not, I'm gonna hurt your son at SummerSlam. But right now, I'm here to please you. What the f was wrong with these people? Eazy-E starts tweaking. Linda tries calling for security. No one's there, just the cameraman who clearly does not care. And just to add to the drama, these idiots during this whole thing going on, they cut to commercial. You know what? Respect. Freddie.
I was watching like clips of like the old WWE games. I don't know if it was Here Comes the Pain. I don't know which one it was, but like I didn't know you could fight Linda McMahon in those games. Because I saw one of Stacy Keibler, you know, video game Stacy Keibler beating up Linda McMahon, and I didn't know she was in the games, which is interesting.
Versus Jason in theaters Friday, and now back to Eric Bischoff catching a case. We come back and Eric is once again, I repeat, tweaking, telling her to shush, calling her a big-breasted beauty, and he even says don't fight it. Eric Bischoff is like an FBI best friend. And ladies and gentlemen, you already know what the hell they were implying was
well, I can't be too shocked. Vince was doing it all the time.
Going down, and that's exactly what went down in kayfabe. Raw goes off the air in the summer of 03 with this, with SummerSlam just 6 days away. Hey, should we promote the Elimination Chamber for SummerSlam? No, let's get Eric to... No wonder ratings were crashing. Nah, this company in 03 was just on something, because on SmackDown, It was arguably worse. Vince was losing his mind, and I mean that. Whatever they say Vince did or is accused of.
I told you, I knew your dad for a long time. He did that shit. Guilty as fuck.
Imagine turning SmackDown on and all you see is Vince McMahon beating up a one-legged 20-year-old. That sounds like a Family Guy skit. And I don't just mean beating up fam. He ripped his prosthesis off and humiliated him week in and week out. Mind you, his wife was catching it over on Raw. It doesn't matter, Vince doesn't care. He was living lavish on SmackDown. He just wanted to cheat on her and beat up a one-legged man. Can a man not spend his Thursdays doing that? Vince in 03 lost his mind. Like we always say, oh, he needs to be stopped, blah blah, this and that. No, Vince in 03 needed to be shot. He was out here booking matches such as Stephanie versus Brock Lesnar, cause why not? His promos made no sense whatsoever. What does that even mean?
Terrorists are gonna burn down the Undertaker's house.
Zach Gowen continued to catch it. One time he caught it so bad that there was more blood on the screen than most slasher movies. He was so jacked, so juiced up, and just off the rails. He booked a pay-per-view with this as the co-main event. And by the way, did he put his daughter over in the match? No. Why would he do that? And just to end the year off right, he was the one who buried the Undertaker and killed the biker gimmick. I still remember one of my earliest memories of watching wrestling was finding out that SmackDown aired at 8 p.m. on Thursdays. I was 5 years old and I turned on SmackDown. I'm all excited and all I see is this. Kurt Angle dressed up as John Cena, and then a little person comes out dressed up as Kurt Angle, and then the little person jokingly makes Kurt Angle tap. And then the little person beat up my favorite wrestler. 03 was just a wild time, man. You had Cena tweaking, you had Angle and Lesnar doing this for some reason off camera. What a year. 03 to me is such a fascinating but interesting year. I will always love 03, don't get me wrong. It's so nostalgic even though I was like 5, but it's just wild. People remember like, oh, SmackDown was so lit, Angle and Lesnar were tearing it up, the work rate, Hollywood Rock, Cena coming out of his show, and then it's like,
His children are gonna be kidnapped.
What a year. On one hand, you had The Rock officially go to Hollywood in April. Austin retired. HBK worked the entire year after missing 4 years and being told that he was never going to wrestle again. John Cena had a giant glow up. From January to July, they make it seem like, oh, once he became the rapper, it was all good. Nah, he grinded his way up. He started out 03 teaming with Bull Buchanan. First of all, what the hell is a Bull Buchanan? Sounds like a gas station pill. But he started with Bull and came out to generic music, and then by July, he had a world title match under his belt, and he was even starting to get cheered. Angle and Lesnar putting on bangers, Rey Mysterio in the Cruiserweight division, Eddie Guerrero, and so much more. But on the other hand, it's like Triple Fraud buried the entire Raw roster. Lesnar did leave the company just 3 months after this. Undertaker took on the Big Show and A-Train at WrestleMania. They couldn't have found anyone else at all, like anyone. Everything was changing, everything was chaos, the writers were on one, but like I said, I love the year. Did it age the best? Hell no.
I seen some of these clips. I've seen the match between Stephanie and Vince. You know, I didn't know all this happened in 1 year. This was unhinged, but the girly pops slay as usual. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Please comment below, what do you want me to react to next? Bye!